It's Mr. 305 checking in for the remix.
Day shift, drop a bag, mission on my back, night hits. Tango in the shadows on attack, coast stack, syntax, fingers moving like a mag, discipline embedded in the way I counteract. Heartbeat running like a drill, sergeant cadence. Every little glitch getting clear with impatience. Stab mode calm, but the screams where the rage is. Hunter in the dark, taking aim at the agents. Boots on the floor, and the G was my weapon. Ops in the chat, every viewer gets a lesson. Tech in my veins, every bite I'm addressing. None of us be tested in the lead, I'm in a second. Never been a bear, I'm a problem architect. Military mindset, keep the chaos in check. Every demon in the dead are getting caught in my net. Tango hunter on the rise, yeah, the systems and that.
Fast pace, no break, runtime overload. Dead string, night shift, tactical mode. Every single challenge getting instantly owed to the soldier in the shadows with the code that explodes.
Eldridge in the runtime, watch 'em bow. Hey, hunter in the mainframe, watch 'em bow. Hey, discipline and logic make 'em bow. Hey, day by day with the night they bow. Every demon process make 'em bow. Every glitch in memory make 'em bow. Tango in the system make 'em bow. Runtime ritual make 'em bow. Runtime ritual make 'em bow. Fast like a heartbeat under combat, stress sharp like a soldier when the squad's under threat. Calm like a father when the world's a mess, but the moment I go live, I'm a certified threat. I every breathing, I'm a digital ghost. Under in the code, taking aim at the host. Every little ever getting cooked in toast. I'm the dad with the discipline to hear the most.
Night ops active, I'm a one-man squad. Streamlights flicker like the wrath of a god. Tech train mind, every line is mod. I'm the glitching matrix at the system outlaw.
Hey, Eldritch in the runtime, watch 'em bow. Hey, hunter in the mainframe, watch 'em bow. Hey, discipline and logic make 'em bow. Hey, day by day but the night they bow. Every demon process make 'em bow. Every glitch in memory make 'em bow. Tango in the system make 'em bow. Runtime ritual make 'em bow. Runtime ritual make 'em bow.
Do the rights. Yeah, I broke something. I couldn't hear any of my audio playing or anything. I also didn't get a chance to check if my don't switch. All my stuff's open. Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. Let me turn my volume down because it's just a little loud in my ears. And let me check to see if my Discord even got up the update that I'm at live. Okay, it did. I just didn't hear any audio. That's really weird. I wonder why I didn't have any audio. Anyways, so thank you, Claude, for doing the shoutouts. King Creeper, thank you for being here, man. I appreciate it. Maui, you too. Hell yeah. Bill checking in. So thank you everybody for being here. You guys are awesome. This is going to be our final part of the website build. So me too. I had to do another AC installment where it's quit. Oh, you do AC work. That's hard work, especially in well, I live in Florida, so especially here in Florida. So I've done that before. Anyways, so I did a few off-stream updates. Most of it is like cosmetic. So my main CSS file was styles.css. I changed it to main.css. It's just, that's a semantic change. And then I did the same thing if you look down here for the JavaScript. Instead of saying script.js, it's main.js. So we're gonna do a couple more things to fix some other issues. But this just makes it so like it's for the whole site, because I also added more CSS files in here, and there's more scripts in here now because I have added other parts to the website. But the main goal is to get the main part of the website. The other stuff that I added is stuff for me, and stuff to showcase some of the tech streams that I've done, and it's a lot of content, and I don't feel like doing another like 4 or 5 streams to go over it. So, but I can go ahead and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So if I right click and open the live server, we're gonna get the window. Obviously this is not gonna play because it's only gonna go play on the live website. But our banner's up, our live banner, and our info terminal is displaying everything. That we've got 2 viewers, which I don't even know how accurate that is. Live for 6 minutes. Alright, thank you, Claude. I appreciate it. I hope your stream goes well to lurking. I do appreciate it. But like we got all this other stuff down here too, right? So but what I added was, if I go to like the tech page, there's actual stuff here now, right? There's a drop down, so you can pick which one you want to pick, which one you want to watch, right? But there's also gonna be a grid, and like I only put 2 in here right now just so I can do some testing, and you can select which one you want from the grid as well, right? And it'll play. You can hit play. It'll actually play the video. So just some cool features in there. And then you can also filter it. So there's filters. So it looks kind of jacked up. I have to fix some of the styles in here and make it so where it's not like freaking this big, because it doesn't need to be this big, right? That's kind of crazy. And like you can select multiples and it'll show each one that fits in any of these that you select. So, and then you can also sort, so like newest or oldest, so like oldest or newest first. So, and then to update this information, I would just go to my JSON app that I built. I spent like over a week doing this. But like I could put the title of the stream, the video embed, which is just the video ID really, because it builds the embed for me. The date of the stream, a description, and then like what items are in the text stack. I open the JSON file, I'll save it, and it'll come up down here. So if I hit open, I don't want to dox myself, so I'm going to put that off the screen just for a second. Right, so if I open the file, boom, right, stuff comes up down here, right? And so this is what's called CRUD, which is create, read, update, and delete, right? So we can create a file by saving it, right? We can read, so we can read what's in each one, and it'll tell us right here in our preview window. It'll also tell us up here, and we can clear the form to get rid of that. We can update, so if we click one, we can actually update the content in here, right? And then we can also delete, right? I'm not going to delete it because I want that to stay there, but yeah, so all that information works. I can add more entries to it. So, and like I've got a couple just quick navigational things up here, right? Just so I can see what's actually in the file. And then I can go back to the main website, right? So this JSON app is purely for me, but I wanted to kind of like include it. So like if somebody wanted to see just like how much work I'm putting into this, and like, you know, the different things you can do in web development, because it's all done with code, and like all my code's on the GitHub, and like I'll show it all off tonight. So it's all here. But yeah, and so I don't have a whole lot of links in here because it doesn't make sense to have links to go down the page when you can just select which one you want from like the drop down, or you can filter. So that's why there's only 3 links, just the home page, the tech page we're already on, so, and then if you want to reload the page, and then like the app, right? And so, and also the theme carries over. So I think some of it looks a little janky still, like especially this icon here, it's like a little too bright. But you know, everything works though. So the other thing I don't like, and I have to fix it, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, is this has like square edges. I don't like that. So I also need to make it so it doesn't line up exactly with this. It doesn't on smaller screens, so if I make this smaller, like, it does its own thing. Oh, I guess it does. It does almost line up perfectly with it, because the width is 50%. Okay, I see. Yeah, the width is 50% on this and this. The only difference is this one has a gap here, whereas these have gaps, and this one doesn't. So, anyways, yeah, that's enough on that. Oh, there's the banner and stuff, and you see like the theme, light theme, stayed between page loads, and the banner stays behind the header, so it doesn't cover like these navigational elements if you scroll down. So, but yeah, that's where we're at. Oh, boom. Here we go. I probably didn't need to close that. So, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to take a quick drink of my tea. Alright. So, I just want to touch base on a couple quick things. This is, again, it's the final build. We're adding the last visual layers and improving accessibility and polishing everything up. And then Aftertay won't just be a project, it's something that can actually be used. And it's got a good foundation to build upon, right? So one of the things I want to add, actually let me just open this back up in live server again, is I don't like how plain the background is, even on like light theme. Like it's just very bland. So we're going to add like a grid to it. And the grid is going to give us some depth, right? Which is kind of like why I wanted these like to kind of glow when you hover over them, right? But I just want a little bit more depth to this, so we're going to do that now. And to do that, and it's going to be purely cosmetic, that's the other thing. So we don't want to interfere with the content. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is going to be code logs. Yeah, we're going to add it to our body. So if we go back to our main style sheet, right, we come down to body, we're going to edit this in here. So all I need to do, we're just going to we'll leave that in there. We're just going to add the background image, which is going to be a linear gradient. So I'm just going to copy and paste it in there. Right, and then so we've got a linear gradient, right? And the gradient is going to be this green color, right? And it's going to have an opacity of 0.06. So it's going to be subtle, right? It'll be there for 1 pixel and then transparent for 1 pixel, right? And it's the same thing for this one, right? But it's at 90 degrees. So we have vertical and we have horizontal, or vice versa, right? And our background size, so we're going to repeat this pattern every 40 pixels, left and right, right? And then this part down here, this variable, so this grid variable X, grid Y, these will be updated with JavaScript, and I'll show you guys how to do that. That's pretty neat. So it's basically going to allow us to move the position of the background as we move around on the page, right? But you see it's very subtle, right? Like it's not very bright. And that's the goal, right? So we don't want to change the entire site, right? We just want it to be like just kind of a subtle look to it. And then if you, it doesn't bleed through. If you look, it doesn't bleed through in the cards, which is nice. All right, so let's go ahead and go back into our code. All right, the next part is where we're going to add our animation. Right, so why is this looking like this? Let me make this a little bit wider. There we go. We're going to copy this whole thing, and we'll come down and paste it, and we'll just go through line by line. So we're adding the pseudo element for after, right? So we're basically using the body element we already have, and we're building on top of that, right? Content's empty, because there has to be content even if it's empty. We have a fixed position. Inset 0 means we don't want to have an inside what is it, border, like an inside color. Pointer events none. And then we have the repeating linear gradient, right? It looks the exact same as the other one, right? And then we have an animation. It's called scanline, right? It's going to take 8 seconds to do the whole animation, and it's going to start where it says linear, so it's going to start basically at the bottom or the side, and it's going to be infinite, right? And so this scanline animation is going to transform or translate y from 0 pixels to 10, right? It's also going to do it on the x side too. So, hey Slick City, thank you for the alert. And then for our light theme, it's going to do the exact same thing, just it's the colors are slightly different, or the opacity is slightly different. So that's the only thing. So then if I go back, right, nothing's happening yet, and I'll show you why. So this scanline animation isn't happening yet because I have to add that with JavaScript, because we haven't modified these variables, right? We haven't declared them. So if our current position is at 0 pixels, we're going to move the background position this number of pixels on the x-axis and this many pixels on the y-axis, right? And I'll show you what that looks like. Very simple. So we're going to go back into our files. We're going to go into our main JavaScript. We got a theme toggle, we got our mobile toggle, and then down here we're going to have our scanline overlay, right? We're going to paste it in there. So the strength is 10, right? The lower this is, the more subtle. The higher it is, the more visible. Like the more it'll jerk the screen around, right? And we don't want it to jerk the screen around too much. We want to add depth, but we don't want to take away. We don't want to distract, right? So we're declaring our x and our y variables, right? The window, right? I had to Google this. So, and here's the thing: when you Google something, Google's going to give you their AI stuff. The AI stuff is wrong like 90% of the time when it comes to coding. And it was wrong. It was very wrong, and I had struggled with it to set it up right. But I figured it out, right? And so it just took me a while to figure it out, which is why I'm not just typing all this out, because I don't want to like do something wrong. So, but we're adding an event listener, so when the mouse moves, right? And so we're going to move it with this E, right? So every time the mouse moves, whether it's the x coordinate or the y coordinate, right, we're going to set the width or the height by 0.5 times the strength, right? So if the strength is 10, we're going to move it by 5 pixels, right? Because 0.5 times 10 is 5, right? So if you increase this 0.5, let's say 20, it's going to move it 10 pixels. So it's going to be more dramatic, right? So we don't want it to be that dramatic. And I'll show you kind of what that looks like. And then we're going to set the property, right? So document, body, style, set property. So in the style sheet on the body category for the HTML document, we're going to set a property of grid X is going to be this X value right here, number of pixels, right? So however far they move their mouse will determine what this is, right? And it's dynamic because we're constantly moving our mouse, right? So you can't capture like a video of it moving. You're in motion, right? I mean, you capture a video of it, but like you can only review that in the past. You can't review the video in the present as it's happening, right? So let's go ahead and look and see what that's going to look like now. See how it's very subtle? Like if I move the mouse around, if I go like up and down too, let me come down here where there's like no animations. Do you see how it's just very slight? It's not like too much. So if I move up and down, you can kind of see it shaking just a little bit. Now if I increase that strength value, right, from 10, let's double it, let's make it 20, right? You'll see it move twice as fast. You see? Like, there's a limit to how far it can move. It can only move 100%, right? So it can only move 10 pixels each way. So from like 0, it can only move 10 pixels that way or 10 pixels that way. Or up or down. Right? But it's how fast it moves. So this looks like it's kind of... And it doesn't move on scroll, that's the thing. That's cool too. It only moves when you're actually moving it. So, but I don't want it to take too much away from people, so that's why I've left it on 10. And then boom. So, and then if we go to our other page, let's go to our tech page, it's here too. Right? It did give us somewhat of a repeating. It kind of highlighted this to be green a little bit more on the inside, which is fine. It's very subtle. But it's not our JSON because I don't have that styling here. It's only on the home page and the tech page because those are the only two pages that have that styling and then incorporate that JavaScript. So yeah, that's pretty neat. So that's all we did. We just added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of JavaScript, right? And this is pretty advanced stuff. Like, even though it's 6 lines, these 4 lines right here, or 5 lines, this was hard to figure out. So, and to be honest, originally I didn't have this value here, this strength value. I was just trying to edit it here without a multiplier. But I was having problems. So, oh yeah, this tells you when I hover over it, strength is 10. So, but yeah, that's one thing I wanted to add, just to give it some depth, to give it something different. You know, no one does this. You don't see this anywhere. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. So, the only other things I wanted to add tonight were accessibility things. I wanted to add this overlay because I thought it looked cool, and we got some depth and a little bit of animation. So the next thing is going to be some accessibility features. So let me just go through my workflow here real quick. We got our scanline overlay in there done. So it's stylistic, and the site feels unique, if it wasn't already. Alright, so let's do some mobile responsiveness and accessibility stuff. This is something a lot of developers do, but tutorials skip. And it's a method of fixing and testing things. So, and then mobile responsive design. It's not something that you finish once. It's something that you update and then you revisit. So every time you do an update to a web page, you should always make sure, like if I go to my tech page, you should make sure that it's responsive on smaller width screens, right? Like it looks like it's jumping around a little bit, right? But it's supposed to do that because like there are some people are on tablets that are this wide, some people are on phones, you know, some people have really small screens on their phones, some people have bigger screens on their phones, you know, so you want your website to be responsive no matter what web page you're on, right? See how everything kind of shrinks with it? That's what you want. Let's maximize it, go back home. Alright, so that's stuff that you always want to revisit every time you add new pages and new content. You always want to make sure that all that stuff's working correctly. Alright? So what we're going to do is we're not going to change anything on how things look. What we're going to do is we're going to change who can use the site, right? So when you're building websites, and this, I know this is a streamer website, and streaming is on Twitch, and Twitch is, we got like viewers, right? People who watch it. So we don't have many people who are hearing, or not hearing, but sight impaired. But there are people who will listen, right, that might be sight impaired. And so when you're building a website, you have to build things so that no matter what technology somebody's using to access that content, they have access to it, right? That it's easy for them to use. Because if I had left these buttons here the way they are and made the screen really small and they were all on top of each other, because the smaller it gets, this gets the how they get further apart when it's bigger and they get closer together when it's small, right? But when they're all on top of each other, for a sighted person to click on them, it's a little difficult when they're all on top of each other, right? Whereas somebody who is using a screen reader can just tab through them, right? See how it's got like a focus to it, so people can tab to it if they're in a screen reader, right? And that's how people who use screen readers are able to access content, right? And it'll basically read what's going on the screen, you know, and they can access different elements of the screen. So for them to access it, for them to be able to click on it with their tab button, we have to add labels to everything, right? So we're going to do that now. So buttons will always be focusable, right, with the tab button. But not everything else is. So we're going to add those labels so that anybody who's using a screen reader or any kind of accessibility device to access the web page will be able to do that. So, and then this is something that you see a lot in big projects. It's cleaning things up, right? So you always have to go through and clean things up. So I guess we'll start on the HTML page. That's where most of it is. And then we've already done some of that by making these list items so that they can be targeted with a screen reader, which is cool. So, but we're going to go further on down this list. And actually, we'll start at the top. We'll start at the very top. We'll do some search engine optimization too, right? So if someone does a search for Tangle Hunter, this website might not come up. There's a good chance. The Twitch might. My TikTok might, right? But this website probably won't. Because the only thing in this website that tells people that I'm Tangle Hunter is right here on the title. Right? There's nothing else in here. Even though you see my name in here, this is all done with JavaScript. Right? This right here, this is JavaScript. Just updating this. So just my header and the title up here. Where's Tangle Hunter here and Tangle Hunter? That's the only thing that says my name. Everything else that has my name in here is done with JavaScript. Everything. It's all done right in here because my name is declared here, and then everything just references that username. So to do some search engine optimization, and then we're going to do some accessibility stuff. Alright, so let's just change the title. We're not really changing much. We're going to put a pipe in the middle, and we'll put Twitch streamer, right? So people know who Tangle Hunter is, right? But then we also need to add a meta tag, right? So right above that. And metadata is just used by Google and by the browser to tell people what is going on, right? So we're going to meta, and we're going to give it a name. So the name is going to be description. Description. Right, so this is a description of the website, right? And we're going to give people, the search engines, content, right? So description and content of the website. So this is the official website for Tango, or no, hold on, for Twitch streamer Tango Hunter, right? Live streams, schedule, and content. Boom. Right. So now you don't want too much information here. This right here, if someone does a search for like Twitch streamers or my name Tango Hunter, this right here will show them. Right, this will come up now. Oh, and I gotta use the closing bracket. Boom. So I was getting a little error there because I didn't close it out. Alright, so that's pretty much it for that. So that's all you have to do for search engine optimization. Give a descriptor tag with content. Right? And then make sure that your title is like makes sense. Like not just who you are, but what you are. Right? If you're a Twitch streamer and you have your own website, let's say you're not a Twitch streamer, let's say you're a website developer, right? You'd have like web dev up here, right? Like, or whatever you want, right? So just so it makes sense. And I don't feel like having this update, this live alert update every single time we change something. So we're just going to comment this out because every time this does this, it does like 4 API calls, and I don't want it to do all that information exchange. It's not like a big deal, but we're just going to kind of hold off on that. All right, so the next things are banner. So if somebody is using a screen reader, this banner is going to, it's not going to tell them what it's for, right now. All they know is that it's a banner and it's got text and a link, right? So we have to give this banner a role and call it status, right? And that status is a live link, so we're going to do area, right, dash live, right, because area labels are accessibility labels, right? So this letting them know the status is that we are live, right? And we're going to do it as polite. So what that means is it's not going to like, if they toggle it, it's not going to automatically click the link on them, right? It's not gonna, like, for visual aspects, it's not there now because I just commented out that line. It's not that bad, it's very subtle, but if you're using a screen reader, it's kind of like, it's there. I don't know how to describe it. Google will probably describe it better than I can, right? So we also have to add one to our mobile toggle, right? So if someone's using their phone, we need to add, we're gonna make this is gonna be really hard to read if I just keep adding to it. Here, I'll show you what I mean. So let's do area label. So we'll label it first, right? And it's gonna be we're gonna it's gonna toggle our navigation menu, right? So now if they're doing a screen reader, they're gonna know, hey, this button toggles navigation menu, right? And then, not area, it's gonna be area controls, right? And so their screen reader is gonna know this is the main nav, right? It might not tell them that. And then our area expanded is going to be set default to false, right? So this part, area expanded false, means that our mobile menu is not expanded by default, right? They have to click the link for it to expand. So we're gonna have to change this value right here from false to true with JavaScript, right? But if you look, this is a very long button, like series of text for the button. So usually when somebody has really like a lot of content in one like button, what they'll do is they'll just kind of do one of these, and it makes it easier to read. And then the closing bracket, there we go, cool. Alright, so now in this button we know these are all of our items, and we're not reading across, we can just read straight down. It's just easier to read, it's not really necessary. It just, instead of having to go all the way across the screen, it's just easier to read. So it's not like necessary, it's just it's something that it's a good habit to get into, because if you're looking for something, you're not trying to scroll through it, try and find it. You're able to just kind of read down. Oh, hold on. I did one too many. There we go. There we go. This should be capitalized. That's weird. Mobile navigation menu. Okay, cool. So, the next thing is going to be our main nav. So, which is down here. We're going to add one in our main navigation, right? So there's no desktop version, right, anymore. Like, our main nav is our navigation that's used for both desktop and mobile, right? So all we have to do I'll wait for the, there we go. Hey Tally Dude, how you doing, man? Metallica Dude. Be right back ads. Okay. I'll wait for the ads. Doop, doop, doo, doo. How long are the ads? I think it's a minute and a half. It's a minute and a half. It sucks just coming into the stream, like just coming in and getting nailed with ads. That sucks. I hate that. Are we still in ads? How long is this ad? It's almost over. Okay. Okay, I think we're out of ads now. Alright, so Tally, how you doing, man? So, this is the final part of our website build. All we've done so far is a quick review, and we've added... Oh, there we are. Now we're back. I thought you were back earlier than that. Anyways, so all we've done so far is a quick review of everything, and then we've added like a small, like this like grid background that kind of moves with the mouse. So I want it to be subtle but not take away too much, you know, and it kind of gives us a little bit more depth than just a plain black background. So, and then I've added a tech page, so I have to add more content. We'll do that later. Very, very easy, and I add content by using my little app that I made. So, but yeah, that's where we're at. And this is like not working right now because I have it disabled, because I don't feel like having a ton of animations and API callbacks. So, but otherwise I'm doing pretty good, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. So the other things that we did, just some search engine optimization. So we give our website a description with content. And then I just kind of like added this Twitch streamer title. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So, and then what we're working on now is adding some area labels. So we got like this role status. So when we're live, this is area live. We'll be polite. Basically means it's not going to jump out at them if they're on a screen reader. It's not going to pop up. It'll only be there when they target it, right? And it lets them know our status is live, but only when we're live. And then we added like some labels to our mobile navigation. So if somebody's on a screen reader because they're visually impaired, this is like stuff that the screen reader will tell them. So it'll let them know, hey, this is going to toggle the navigation menu, right? And so when they click on it, it's going to open the main nav, but the default is false, right? So it's not expanded yet until they click on it. When they click on it, this expanded will be true, which means the navigation will be visible, basically. So that's all we're doing right now, just some accessibility stuff, which this is stuff nobody ever thinks of. No one ever thinks of how blind people or people who are visually impaired view the internet, right? Like screen readers are a real thing. And you probably would never see somebody on a screen reader on Twitch. But you never know. Like maybe they want to listen to a stream. Like it's like their brother's stream and they're trying to support their brother.
We're going streaking
So,
through
like
the
that.
quad and into the gymnasium.
85
Come
stream
on,
streak. That's
everybody!
what's up, dude. I appreciate that. Hell yeah. I'm gonna give you I know it just gave you a little shout out, like a Twitch shout out. We're gonna give you a custom one there. So I'm gonna add the area label to our main navigation. And all it's gonna be is just area label, main navigation. Right. So their screener would tell them, hey, this is the main navigation, not navigation. There we go. Thank you for that. I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it. So, in our overlay, this is the overlay is only going to be visible when they're on a mobile screen and they open that mobile toggle to open the navigational menu, right? So this is going to be area hidden, right? Equals true. So when they click on this, we're going to use JavaScript to change this value to true and this value to false, right? So the mobile navigation is not expanded by default, and this is not visible by default. But this overlay becomes visible when they click this button. Right? That's all it's telling the screen reader. That's all it's telling them. Right. And then let's add a few more area labels. So our main terminal, or our two terminals, we got our informational terminal here. We're gonna add an area label here, just so their screen reader can tell them what it is. Area label, and this is gonna be the informational terminal output, right? Very simple. That's all it is, right? Information terminal. That's all it is, and it's even in my code comment, right? So my code comment tells any developer, hey, this is an informational terminal. Done, right? There's not have any content in here because the content's controlled with the live alert, but you know, and then Twitch video player, same thing. There's no content here; it's all controlled with the live alert. So, but we're gonna have to add an area label in here too. So let's do that. Area dash label equals, and it already does the quotes for me. So then we just have to add in the Twitch stream player. Boom. All right. So now anybody on screen reader they'll tab this one. Oh, it's an information output. It'll read to them what's on there, right? But then it's going to switch to the stream player. When they tab over to that, and it's going to tell them this is a switch stream player, you know, which they wouldn't be able to watch the video if they're blind, but at least they'd know what's there, right? So the next thing we need to do. Oh, hold on, what did I do here? Let's go back. Oh, yeah, right here. So in the actual Twitch player, we need to add a few different things. So this one's going to be, we have to add a role, right? Region, and this won't make sense, and it's, I'll explain it once I get everything in here. So we're going to give an ARIA label, right? And it's going to be live Twitch stream. That's pretty much it. So role region is mainly used for video players. It will tell them if the video is not available in the region, it'll tell them, basically. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then live Twitch stream. That's pretty self-explanatory, I feel like. So now I need to add a couple hyperlinks in these cards down here, my socials. So like I should add a link to tell people that this is Discord. But I don't feel like scrolling all the way over here, right? That's silly. We're not going to do that. So I'm going to turn on word wrap. It's just going to be Alt Z, right? So now line 125 is all of this. This is all line 125, right? And then line 129 is both of this, both of these. So it makes it easier to read. And then I can come down here to like the end of this, which I'll do it outside of the P element there, the paragraph element. I'm just going to copy my link for Discord. Enter, boom. Right, so there's my Discord link. Target blank means it's going to open in a new tab. And this is going to have some styling called socials link, which we'll have to add into the style sheet, right? We'll do that in a minute. Let's do the rest of my links here. So we got our Discord. All right, let's do our YouTube. Right, visit YouTube. Right, new tab. It's gonna open a new tab. It's got my YouTube there. That's cool. All right, and the last one is my GitHub. So we're gonna add that one in here too. Boom, GitHub. So all this code can be found on my GitHub, and there's the link. Right, so they'll click on check out this GitHub, and it'll take them to there in a new tab. All right, the last thing I need to do. All right, if I scroll down, this asynchronous defer, the functions in here are already asynchronous, right? I've already declared them as that. And then defer means that it's going to load them after the page loads, right? So these are redundant. I don't need both of these. I only need one, right? Since they're already asynchronous in the file, I'm just going to delete that and leave defer, right? So, and again, defer just means it will not load the JavaScript until the page loads, right? That way, there's no scripting errors, right? If the page is having trouble loading and the JavaScript is trying to change elements that are down here, but it's not done loading yet because it's stuck up here, the JavaScript is going to have a failure, and then the page won't load right at all when it gets down here. So that's basically what defer does. And you've probably seen that in the past on other websites where stuff just looks real funky because the JavaScript loaded before the page loaded. So this defer tag prevents that. So it makes everything look a lot more polished when there's like loading issues, because it happens, right? So that's it. That's it for this area here. I could probably add a few more labels down here, but I feel like with these headings in each card, these screen readers will like make it self-explanatory, right? Like I don't need to put a label when there's already a heading. Does that make sense? Like I hope it makes sense. Like area label about, and then it's gonna read to them a heading about, you know, and it's gonna read about me. You know, so it'd be like redundant to like put it 3 times. It's already kind of redundant to have about and about me, but I didn't know how else to make like a bio. Maybe I just change about me to bio. I don't know. I don't know if the right solution is there, but I mean, you know, it doesn't look bad visually. Like about me, you know, but a screen reader would say about section, about, and then about me. Like it would read it out to them, and it's that's silly. So we don't need to do that. We don't want to do that to somebody. So we'll just leave it the way it is. And so remember I said I had to change this value right here, this expanded false, and this hidden true. I have to change this with JavaScript, right? So the way to do that is in our main JavaScript file, right? We're going to add like 4 lines of code, right? Just 2, right? Because there's 2 here. Like this has to be changed from false to true, and then when they close the menu, it's got to be changed back. So we got to have to change this one twice, and the same thing for this one, right? Because if they open the menu, this is going to change to false, and if they close the menu, it's going to change to true. So let's just add those 4 lines of code, and it's going to be this one right here. All right, and it's only going to be in this mobile toggle section, right? We're not changing anything in the theme. We're not changing anything in our overlay. We're just doing it in our mobile toggle, right? So let's look in here. We don't need we don't want to change anything here because these are our variables, right? But what we do want to do is when they click something, right? So when they click, what's going to happen when they click on the button, right? Well, the mobile toggle is going to become active, right? And the main nav is going to open from the side, right? And the overlay is going to show, right? But let's change what's going to happen with our area labels now. So I'm just going to copy them. This is going to make more sense in a minute. Hey Claude, thank you for being here. So when they click the link, when they click the mobile toggle, and they change the spacing on this, right? So the class list mobile toggles become active. The class list main nav is going to open, and the overlay is going to show, right? But now our screen readers, the mobile toggle is going to change from area expanded to true. So it's going to tell them, hey, you've opened the menu, and then when it gets to the overlay, the overlay is going to be set to false, right? Because right now it's hidden, so we're changing it to false because it's not hidden when they open it. Can we turn the music? Yeah. I'm sorry, it was loud for my ears. I turned it down in my ears. I don't know what it's set to now, and the volume's going down anyways because this song's changing. But you can change it down to like 40 if you want in here in a second when it comes back up. Alright, so now we've got our area labels toggled when they open it up. And then when they close the menu, what's going to happen? Right? So when they close the menu, something else is going to happen. Right? The expanded, the area, the mobile toggle is going to be false. Right? It's not open anymore. Right? And then the overlay is going to be hidden again. Right? So that's all we did. So when they click, open that back up, make it small, and we'll make it just a little smaller. So now, if a screen reader, if somebody toggles this, right now it's set to not expanded, and the overlay that shows up here is hidden when they click on it. Now it's telling them, hey, you've expanded the menu, and the overlay is visible. That's all. And then when you close it, it does the same thing, just backwards. Right? Oh, you closed it, the overlay is not visible. Done. It's still kind of loud. Oh, yeah, we both did it. I'll let you control the volume. I trust you. I trust your judgment. So yeah, that's all we've done, just with the with those 4 lines of code. Just accessibility. So that's all we had to do for the JavaScript. So now let's do some quick fixes. That's good now. Good. It was loud in my ears earlier. I turned my headset volume down. I didn't think about it being too loud for the stream. Oh, there we go. It was hard to focus on what I was saying. Okay. I'm sorry. I hope everyone else was able to hear. So we're pretty much done with our JavaScript. We're done with our HTML. Let's move on to our styling. We're going to remove some redundancies in here that don't need to be here. So we're going to streamline a little bit. And then we're going to change just a couple things. Right? So if I come down here, line 79. Oh, I've changed stuff though. I've added stuff. It's further down now. Hold on. Grid template. That's going to be... Is it all the way down here? 264. Did it move that much? It did. Okay. Yeah, everything moved like 40 pixels almost. Yeah, it wasn't to where we couldn't hear you. It was like the same volume as you, so I think it's just hard to focus on what you're saying, if that makes sense. It does, I understand. So everything moved. So I just have to make sure I put things in the right areas. So the first thing is our live banner. When it becomes active, instead of inline block, we want it to be flex. Because it's not a block element. It changes with the screen size. So we'll change that. And then what should have been line 264, but is actually like line like freaking 300 now. Yeah, way down here, 302. So like this one right here. So grid template columns in our hero section, which was originally named grid, I renamed it to hero because I had to name the tech page a grid because it's going to be an actual grid. What it does is it's going to allow two different elements side by side, right? And each one is going to be one fraction, right? So this is one fraction, this is one fraction, so there's two, so each one is half. So I was here sooner to fix it, but you know I had it on my phone while I had some ice cream. Okay, that's cool. Oops, that's so good. Thank you. Thank you. We added like a grid background and it kind of moves. So it was very subtle. It moves with the mouse. You kind of like see it moving up here in the corner. So I didn't want it to take away too much, but I wanted to kind of like give us some depth. Something neat. Oh yeah, we gotta fix that. That looks ugly. The blue links for the Discord and the YouTube and the GitHub. We're gonna fix those here in a minute. So yeah, I just named it from grid to hero, and then so instead of making this a repeating element, yeah, you can't read those at all. They look terrible. We'll fix that in just a minute. I'm just gonna copy and paste. And the reason I keep copying and pasting is because I've missed characters before in this stream, where I've missed like a whole line, and it messed stuff up. So this way I'm not like messing anything up. So we're just changing it. It's still repeating, right? But it's going to auto fit them, right? So they're going to be side by side. Still one fractional element, right? The minimum is going to be 400 pixels, right? Which I can change that, but now they'll never get below 400 pixels when they're side by side, right? So as soon as they hit 400 pixels, they become their own column, right? So it makes it a little more responsive. It's a little smoother instead of being so I mean, it's kind of jumpy, I guess. But like, no one on a tablet ever resizes the size of their browser or their phone or whatever. Like, their phone is pretty much this width all the time. You know what I mean? And older. What do you mean and older? I missed something. Did I say something wrong? Did I misspeak? Do our about? Oh, yeah, my about page. Yeah, my about section. Take on an older, chill dude. Yeah, I'm older. Maybe I'll change that, like, to a comma instead of a dash, because that looks kind of funky, don't it? There we go. There you go. I'm an older chill dude. You know, I'm 40. I'm not 20 years old anymore. So I think it's realistic. I'm an older guy. I'm not really young anymore. So, anyways, let's add the. First, let's go down here. So in the sections, here we go. We'll do it like right here underneath sections. So we're gonna add the socials link. We're gonna change the colors so they're readable. Right. Let's just give us a little tab there. So we got some inset. There we go. And the color is gonna be our main accent color. This way it looks a little different from the regular text, right? So it still looks like a link, right? Let's see what happens when we click on it. Oh, you know what? Let's just open up in a new tab. Boom. Yeah, so it's opening up, and then same thing for the YouTube. It'll open up that way, and the GitHub. Boom. Everything works. The links work. They open in new tabs, and the colors are actually easier to read now. Type on the Discord. Discod. It's a Discod. We're gonna join the Discod. Oh, this is why it's good to proofread your stuff. Join the Discod. Discord. There we go. That should fix it. Join the Discord. There we go. See, and the fixes are live, so when I go back and check this, everything updates as we type it, as we fix things. And then go back to our JavaScript. So it was like line 369. It is not going to be much further than that. So min height 80 pixels. I don't know which line that was on. That was our footer. Yeah, that was for our footer. We'll just add it down here. Min height. So the reason I put 80 pixels is because on small screens, what happens with our footer is it gets like bunched up. It's kind of bunched up still, but because I made this background image an aspect ratio so that it's sizes with the screen, oops, it acts kind of funky. So this gives it a minimum height, so it won't ever go below that height. So that's basically all it does. And then we need to go back up and actually remove something that's redundant. So we're not even using this, right? I was going to originally just use it as anything that I was going to make flexible. So if I come down here and use like our cards were going to be display flex, right? But I changed it. Instead of making it for everything, I made just individual elements that way. More control. Is it playing my audio? I don't hear it. Why can't I hear it? Let me open up driver update. That's probably why I don't hear it. It did? Okay. Do it again. Ooh. Oh, good, it is working. Okay, because I couldn't tell if my theme song played in the very beginning of my stream because I couldn't hear it because my wavelength is not updated. So I should probably make sure my stuff's up to date before I go live, because that sucks, not being able to hear stuff. But at least I can hear it by monitoring it through OBS. Alright, did I remove it? I did remove it. Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. We got that. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I think everything has been updated. And like people can click the links and go to specific sections. And then your song was playing with me. Okay, it was. Good. I wasn't sure because I couldn't hear it. I was panicking. So Claude, one of the things I added was a tech page to host my YouTube content, which it looks really big right now, but as I add stuff, this will form an actual grid. It's just big now because there's only 2 items on here. And to update this stuff, actually, before I even show you how to update it, people can filter, right? And it's huge because I have to change this to make like a maximum size. So you can filter to like different size, like different ones, and every check mark you make will add more content, right? Because it's like this one or this one, right? And then there's also the sort. It's like the oldest video, it's like my first stream, boom, right? Or the newest first, right? This is my second stream. And you can like open them this way too. You can click on them through the drop down or just click on them, right? And the video player works there's the title, the date it was recorded, and like a short description, and then there's tags, right? And you can click these, and they'll open in a new tab what that software is, right? So like, if anybody wants to like see what I've done in the past, like it's all here, right? It's like the StringerBot tutorial, or if they want to do my 3D modeling, Fusion 360, if they want to download that program, it's right here, right? It's right here, right? Because it doesn't make sense to pay freaking $57 almost paid annually, $57 a month, 57 times 12. What is that? $600? Screw that, man. Yeah, 680. Look at that. No way. Download it for free. Get the free version. Don't pay that. Oh, you can save 25%. No thanks. Anyways, so to add more content here, all I've got to do, well, first I need to open up my YouTube. So let's just click watch on YouTube. We'll go to my channel. There we go. That started the video where I was last on it. Alright, so now I've got like these, right? So what I need to do, the reason I had to open the YouTube is because I need the unique links for each of these, the unique IDs, because I can go to my little app that I made, and this is going to convert my data to JSON, right? So JSON is JavaScript object notation, right? It's a language that looks like this, right? So like there's a title. What is the title? The video. What's the link? You know, the date it was recorded, a description, and what technologies I used, right? It's very simple. It has a very specific format. So JavaScript is an object-oriented language, and since this is object notation, this whole thing is called an object, right? And objects, typically, whatever the first thing in there is, whatever the first thing, which is usually a name or a title, that's usually what you call that object, right? So since this one has a title, it's going to be called whatever I call that title. And then you would have multiple of these, right? And everything has to be in quotes, right? If it's not in quotes, it's not going to work, because if it's not in quotes, then it's either a number or a boolean or an undefined or null value. So like numbers obviously are 1, 2, 3, 5, whatever. And there's true and false, which are booleans. Null is like an invalid entry. So it'd be like if somebody was put letters in here, right, without the quotes, that would be invalid, that would be null. And same thing for undefined. Undefined means like you just leave it empty, like there's no quotes, there's no nothing. It's just title in quotes with a colon and then nothing, right? That would be undefined. So you have different values. And then you have an array. So in the tech array, there's 2 items, a name and a link, right? And you can have more, right? You can have more objects in the tech stack, right? So here's one, and I can add a second one, or a third one, or a fourth one, or however many I wanted to add, right, inside of the array. Yeah, inside of these brackets. So curly brackets is one object in the array, right? But to edit this, right, to add to this, I'm going to open up the JSON file. It opened off screen because it's got like, here, I'll just bring it over. This is kind of what it looks like. So just basically open up the file, and it's got to be a JSON file, right? So my text streams, we'll open that up, right? And now look, StringerBot tutorial and 3D modeling, they show up, right? So this is CRUD, right? So I can create new objects. I can read existing ones. So here I can read them. I need to change this to word wrap. I shouldn't have to side scroll. I don't like that at all. Don't like it. I have to fix that. And then create, read, update, right? So I can update it up here. And I can also delete, right? I don't want to do that. I don't want to edit that. We'll just clear it out. But like I have that option, right? If I want to update this stuff later. Yeah, that side scrolling was terrible. I hate side scrolling on everything. Scrolling up and down's not bad because we have to do it on our phones all the time. Alright, so let's do our third one. We're going to pause it. And I just need this unique ID up here. Right? And this is our second text stream. Or third. It was our second part to the Fusion 360 thing. Excuse me. I keep drinking more coffee. Or more tea, I mean. Okay, so let's give it a title. This one was... So we're going to call it 3. I can't type. So, 3 Monolith Part 1, 3 Monolith Part 2. We recorded that on March 4th. Because that was the first Wednesday. And then... Actually, here, let me just go back. What I'm going to do... I'm going to reopen this so I can just copy and paste. And then copy and paste what I already have. And then this is part 2 of a 2-part series. Right? And then I come here. I'm going to copy link address. Come here. Paste. Right? And then it looks like how it looks. Okay, yeah. Fusion 360, one word. No space. Alright, I could add more if I wanted to. If you add and we start typing, you see how it adds a second part, right? You can add more, right? But I don't want to do that. We're just going to delete those, right? And now I can save this entry, and I should get a little, I think it's going to come up here. It'll say entry saved, and it's going to like flash green, but it's a very subtle flash. Like it's very, oh, we have to confirm first. We have to confirm that this is what we want to change. Again, with the side scrolling. Save. Yep, do you want to save it? Yes. Right? And I didn't get a save message, and the file disappeared. Did it save? It did. Okay. Oh, I know why. I know why. I can get that. I can get that to work. Hold on. I know exactly what happened. Right. So look, this didn't update, but that's okay because I didn't update it in the JavaScript file yet. So to do that, go back into VS Code, right? And then I changed my folder layout just a little bit. So now the images are in a folder called Assets, and the images are in there. And then we also have our data file, which is our text streams JSON, right? So what I can do is just copy this that was just added. Oop, wrong button. Come on. Control C, right? And then go to my JavaScript file for my tech data. And we're just going to add that in right there, right before the end of the file. Right. Save it. And then we're going to come back in here, and boom. Now it's right here. Click on it. The video works. Yeah, that easy. So, I mean, I do a couple steps, and the reason I have to do a couple steps, so realistically, if I was, see, it doesn't work on this one because it's not a live server, right? This is a live server where it works. It'll work on the website. It just won't work here, right? But this updates. So, I gotta find out if it works on the website. The updating section, it should right? I think it doesn't work here because it's trying to run off of a server, like, whereas my website won't be running off a server. So, anyways, so that video's done. Who's checking in? Delta Trader, thank you for checking in. So I'm gonna add as many of these. I'm gonna add like probably 1 or 2 more, and just see when it starts a new row. Let's do this. Yeah, let's see what happens. So we're gonna edit in here. We'll go to my YouTube, and we'll start this one. Open link in the tab. Pause the video. We're going to copy this unique identifier. And then, is that the same way it loaded? Hold on. It does. Okay. Okay. It just looks kind of funky. There you go. We'll put the embed here. Delta Trader with 39 arrows. Delta, I know you're there. Oh, I'm gonna go to bed now. I'm really tired of it. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it, Claude. I'll be wrapping up soon. Oh, there he is. Get you a shout out. Let me see. Shout out to you, Grandma. We love Grandma's homemade cookies. But seriously, give this gamer a follow. They were last seen playing Helldivers 2. What? You class was not in session. You were doing Helldivers 2. I used to play that game. I stopped around the time that the knife came out, when you could use like the throwing knives. Alright. Yeah, I ran Helldivers on Monday with Spitter. That's cool though. It is a fun game. It's just, it gets redundant after a while. Like you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over. This is like, let's build this. Hold on. Website build part 1, right? And then this was the first day in April. A custom website for streaming. We wrote everything in VS Code and stored our data online in GitHub. All coding is written in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It's JS. Right? So for the tech stack, let's add VS Code first. And we're going to add GitHub second. Alright, so let's get the website VS Code. Boom. Visual Studio Code. There's the website for it. We'll put that link in there. And then we'll do the same thing for GitHub. Right. GitHub. Boom. Get the generic link. And we'll put the link in there. Boom. Right. So now we got VS Code with a link, GitHub with a link, our description, all that fun stuff. Let's open the JSON file first. I'm going to put this off screen so I don't dox myself. It's under coding, Tango Hunter, Twitch, assets, data, Twitch streams, JSON. So it's in my data folder there. Open. Right. Boom. The data's here. So we're going to save this entry. Right. Make sure everything's right. Hit confirm. We do want to save our changes. And boom, website build part 1 is in there. Here's the data again. Right. Cool, it's in there. So now, come back over to GitHub, or VS Code. Go to our data folder here, our tech data. Let's just copy this last entry and add it. Oh wait, hold on. No, it's in our JSON. Where's JSON? There it is. It's in our JSON file. Right? And we're going to add it to our tech data. Boom. Now, our website reflects the fourth one. Click on it. The link works. Yep. These links should work, and they do. So we verify everything works, and everything works, and it looks good. I am happy with that. I am not happy with that. That is on top of the window. I don't like that. It should not be on top of the window. I have to fix that. None of the other buttons are. Why is that one on top? That's crazy. So that gives us now a fourth object in there. All right, let's add another one. Boom, we'll close that. So what I can do is come here, go to JSON app, open the file. Boom. All right, website build part 1. Control A, Control C, Control V. Right, and this is website build part 2. Website build part 2. Let's get the video. I'll just open all these up. We're gonna pause, and we're gonna pause. I can close that now. Hold on. I don't want that and, just this part. There we go. Oh, there we go. Video embed. This was done on the 8th, part 2. Alright, and the text stack, if I come over here, Control AC, come here, Control V, add one more, Control A, Control C, and Control V, VS Code, and GitHub. Boom. And then we're going to save entry, confirm, file saved successfully. It shows up there. We come here, go back. Oh, wait, duh. We gotta go to our JSON file and copy and paste again. This is a step I don't like, but I cannot get it to load directly from here without running a server. And I don't feel like running a server right now. We might add one later, but for now, we're not. There's the 5th one. So you can see it's going to be a grid. Like it's going to... This is going to be our format. Right? I think one more might fit. And if it doesn't, it's fine. Right? But then if you're on a phone, it looks bigger than it actually is. Phones are smaller than that, right? But like no matter what size, if you're on like a tablet or a bigger tablet, you know, like just depending on what size screen you're on, will determine how big this grid looks. I might do a max height on these. Just so that they're not like freaking that big, because that's ridiculous. I don't like that. Don't like it at all. But anyways, moving on. Yeah, what's this? I gotta fix that. Did two of them? Okay. Hopefully that's done now. Control A, backspace. Yeah, get rid of that. Alright, come back over here, open. There it goes. I forgot to do something one of the first time, but that's okay. It's just easier to copy and paste. We're going to change this to part 3. Alright, and this is website build part 3. Yep, this will be the last one. So let's get the video embed. And we want just the unique code. We don't want the timestamp. This was done last week, last Wednesday. Alright, and then we're just going to pull, I can close these out now. We're going to pull the links. Oh, undo. Undo. Hold on. There. Control C. No. Control A, Control C. There we go. Jesus. Add tech. Copy and paste. VS Code. And GitHub. And save entry. Confirm. There's the last one. Cool. The other way I could do this, I could just click here and copy this object this way. Control C. And then come up here, detect data, comma, enter, paste. And then I've got to tab this stuff out just one time. Boom. There we go. I could do it that way. Now we come back on our website. Boom. Right? You see now we have a real grid on our when we're full size. So, and everything lines up. No matter how big the grid is, everything lines up. It looks good. Part 3. VS Code. GitHub. Boom. Thank you for the lurk refresh. Everything works. And you don't even have to click the X if you want. You can just click outside. I'll fix that later. Yeah, but it works. Everything's there. That's so cool. Alright, let's fix the live alert there. Right? We'll fix that again. So now all of our data is here. Everything works. Everything looks the way it should. Let's fix our live alert. We'll uncomment this. Boom. Right? And then our live alerts are now here. And this is now... Let me change that back. I changed it to flex. Let's change it to inline block. It's all the way up here. Live banner. Active display. Inline dash block. Go back. Okay. I guess it has to be inline block. It can't be flex. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. It works. It looks good. I like it. I like it a lot. Right. So now we'll come in here. We've changed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 files. Right. We just added a bunch of stuff. Changed a lot in here. Mostly just adding area labels. Our main JavaScript, we added our overlay, we added those 4 lines. Tech data, we've added the whole thing. And our main CS, we've gotten rid of a couple things and fixed a couple other things so they just work better. So I think that looks pretty damn good. Let's do this. Week 4. update. Right, so this is our GitHub. We're gonna push it. All right, now the real test. The real test. Let's close that out. Right, we're gonna open a new tab and close that out. It's gonna take a minute to update. Right, because the JavaScript. Oh, well, that's still there. That's there. My video works. Okay, cool. Tech. Yeah, see, it's not all here yet. Right? It takes a minute. Let's see if it's in the. Oh, I'll check the GitHub later. Actually, what I can do. Go home. Yeah, see, it's not all here yet. All the styling's not in there yet. Here's the GitHub. My one repository. I have a start. Which one's start? I don't know. Hold on, let me go back. Where do I have start? Oh, okay. Yeah, category switcher. I forgot I did that. Alright, cool. So, week 4 update. 1 minute ago. So it's definitely there. Campfire vibes, Dr. Provision, Extreme, Sharpie, good company. That's right. Alright, we'll refresh. No, these links are still messed up looking. And the tech page is not updated yet. I'm gonna sit here and we're gonna wait for it. Anybody got any questions? Anything anybody want to go over? I recognize this song. At least everything works. Yeah. Yeah, it works. Part 1 of 4. Part 2 of 4. Part 3 of 4. Let's see what happens if we update something. We'll just put like a space, right? And then hit, no, it doesn't let me save because I didn't actually put anything in here. White space doesn't count. Yeah, white space doesn't count. We'll do space T. Here, not from streaming. Let's see. Custom say for streaming. Right, now we'll save, confirm, save changes, file saves, cool. Right, so that works. That works really well. Go back to the tech page, go home. These things still look messed up. I think that's kind of weird how it's just indexed to HTML. It shows the exact content that's in them. Well, it's also not updating yet. It's a little slow. I don't know how long that takes. In the meantime, just look at this. Custom website. Alright, just edit right here into for streaming. Right, and this one too. For streaming. Right. And then I can just copy the whole array. Right. Copy the whole array. Go into tech data. And then go over the whole array. And Control V. There we go. refresh. It still looks funky. How long does this take? Oh, you know what? Well, let's see if it loads. It does. It loads here properly too. That's cool. I like it. I dig it. This still shows over top. I don't like that. These ones don't. Why is this one so special? Why is this special? Well, everything works. It's just gonna take a minute to update. I don't know why it's taking so long. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hour and a half done. I think we got a lot done today. Let me just go over my recap real quick. Alright, so yeah, we started with a blank page, and now I've got all this fully functional website. And like, this isn't even the end. Like, this is like the foundation, because I can keep building on this. I can build more into this tech page here. I've got like this cool JSON app that I made just to convert everything so that it's easy to save, right? I could eventually make a server for it, and then I don't have to copy and paste. I just enter the data and save it, and boom, it'll all update. But like, the goal wasn't just to build this; it was to like teach and understand how to build stuff like this, and I learned stuff too. Like, there's stuff that I had to Google to figure out, and just like, for example, this right here, I had to Google this, right? That's really advanced stuff, and like, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to track mouse movements. I knew it's possible because there are websites that do it, and do it really, really well, like especially like online games that are like browser-based games. So, and if you follow along, you can copy all this code and change things and alter things, and make your own version of this. So like, this is totally doable. It's all done in code. If you need help, I'm available. Google is a better resource than me. Just be aware that Google AI is wrong a lot. So don't use their AI. Instead, use like Stack Overflow, or like the official like websites, or like even like Web3C, W3C. They've got a lot of really good resources there too, and a few other things too. I've linked them in my Discord in the tech streams category, so they're still there if anybody wants it. And here's the link for the Discord. So, and I will be updating my streamer bots to include the website in the automated messages that pop up every like 10 or 15 minutes or whatever like that. So I'll include the website in those messages, so those will be pushed through as well. So go back home. Yeah, this is not updated yet, but at least everything works. That's all that matters. So I'll wait for that on my own. I'm not gonna make everybody else wait. If you're hanging out still, thank you for being here. You guys are awesome. I am not gonna raid out tonight. I'm just not feeling up to it. So we're gonna go ahead and end stream. Let's hit the end button. And you guys have a great night. And thank you for being here. And we're gonna wait for the credits to roll. Let's see, moderators. We got Claudzilla coming in. She was my sub. Bill's a VIP. Yeah, there we go. You guys take care.